Tonight on NewsWatch Ole Miss, gas prices spiked right before students left for spring break, but they found Oxford prices over 10 cents lower when they returned. Find out if experts expect the drop to continue.
Stop listening to those who say that Ukraine is inevitably going to lose. We should hear the president's strategy to help Ukraine win.
The president has a busy week ahead as he continues to work on his response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We'll take a look at his agenda for the week coming up.
Committee will ask her all the tough questions. I haven't made a final decision as to how I'm going to vote.
And the confirmation process for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination to the Supreme Court began today. The latest from the first day of the hearings is straight ahead. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now. Good evening and welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Hannah Baker. Today may have been beautiful, but tomorrow is looking much gloomier. Parts of North Mississippi, especially Lafayette County, will experience heavy rain and gusty winds as a storm moves in from the southwest. Flooding is possible, so Lafayette County is now on a flood watch from early tomorrow morning until 7 at night. Severe storms with damaging winds and tornadoes are possible. Lafayette County is expected to receive nearly 3 inches of rain, and residents are advised to monitor forecasts and be alert for possible flood warnings. That storm may not be the only way Oxford could be getting wetter in the future. The Board of Aldermen are considering changing the city rules during city-sponsored events. If passed, the change would allow alcohol to be consumed within fenced-in areas, including sidewalks or alleys. City-approved vendors would sell the drinks, and aldermen could vote on the change in April after a public hearing. It is unclear if the change will take effect by the Double-Decker Arts Festival scheduled for April 22nd and 23rd. Just before students left for spring break, gas prices hit an all-time high across the country. Now, over a week later, they're slowly dropping. The national average gas price is $4.25 today. And while that would have been a record high just 1 month ago, 8 cents lower than it was on March 11th. The average price of gas here in the Magnolia State is $3.93. There are 2 major factors in the drop: the price of oil per barrel, which fell more than $20 over the last week, and a lower demand of gas price because many drivers limited their time behind the wheel when prices topped $4 per gallon. The White House considered sending gas cards to families to ease pain at the pump, but determined it's not feasible. A White House spokesperson says gas cards are now not seriously under consideration. A source says the Biden administration is worried gas cards won't work because of execution issues and fraud concerns. They are studying the pros and cons of various other proposals to help Americans fill up as prices remain high. The administration has already announced the release of soil from emergency stockpiles. Turning now to our continuing coverage of the war in Ukraine, residents in the capital city of Kyiv woke to new scenes of destruction after a Russian airstrike late last night destroyed a shopping mall. The strike killed at least 8 people and demolished everything in sight. The attack follows yesterday's bombing of an art school in Mariupol where 400 people may be trapped. Russia has been demanding the besieged city lay down its weapons and surrender, but Ukrainian forces have refused. As the bombing continues and civilian casualties pile up, the United States is looking to update its response to Russian attacks. President Biden began that process this morning, and CNN's Amy Kiley has a look at his international agenda for the week.
Убивали всех людей. Это сволочи, это гады, блядь, паразиты.
Russian President Vladimir Putin seems undeterred by increasing civilian casualties in Ukraine.
This is really disgusting.
This week, the White House is expanding its efforts to help. President Joe Biden is holding a call with European leaders this morning. Then he's talking with American CEOs about the war. On Wednesday, he travels to Europe for an emergency NATO summit. He'll visit Warsaw, Poland Friday for talks with that country's president about Russia's war in Ukraine. And he's got another invitation.
Why don't he can visit Kyiv next week as a symbol of our solidarity?
The Ukrainian capital is a war zone right now, so Biden does not plan to stop there. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has his own ideas of what he'd like in the president's agenda.
So what I'd like to see the president do is to reassure our Eastern Bloc allies
The Ukrainian people are begging Biden and the U.S. to offer more support. The besieged city of Mariupol refused Russia's demand to surrender today. The Ukrainian president says he's ready to talk to Putin at any time, but he's worried if talks fail.
That would mean that this is a third world war.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The United States isn't the only country looking to update its response. European leaders, especially those in countries near Ukraine, are emphasizing the importance of continued pressure on Russia and aid to Ukrainians.
We cannot get tired imposing sanctions. We cannot get tired offering assistance and help to Ukraine.
There is an option for you to support the Ukrainian war effort from right here in Oxford. On Friday, Malco Theaters began playing the film The Guide. The box office proceeds will be donated to Ukrainian relief efforts as the movie conveys the urgency of the situation and the need for assistance. Donations from cinemas will also be forwarded to a special Ukraine relief fund that is managed by Human and Civil Rights Organizations of America. In addition, the Digital Cinema Distribution Coalition will be delivering the film by satellite. All parties are working free of charge to ensure as much money as possible is delivered to the Ukrainian people. Back on campus, with spring break over and the spring semester in the home stretch, student organizations are looking to boost involvement this week. NewsWatch reporter Anna Caroline Barker went to find out more and joins us now. Anna Caroline?
That's right, Hannah. Not only does today mark the first day of spring, it also kicks off the second annual Engagement Week at Ole Miss, hosted by the Leadership and Engagement Ambassadors. This week at the Union Plaza, Get Involved UM is holding various fun-filled events, giving students the chance to learn more about involvement on campus, while also enjoying the beautiful spring weather.
So we've been doing engagement weeks, but in different capacities, and this is our first year where we're going to be doing like a really big cornhole tournament at the same time, so it's going to be really fun. So it's kind of like on a bigger scale this time.
Today, students got to jump into Engagement Week with a bouncy house.
Later this week, tomorrow and Wednesday, we're going to be doing involvement fairs if the weather permits. So we'll be out here tabling with different organizations on campus to kind of tell students about different ways to get involved. And then on Thursday, we're going to be doing throwback t-shirts. So we're giving away all the different student union org t-shirts on the Student Union Plaza. And then on Friday, we're going to be doing mini golf and hot dogs.
Lee says that her involvement on campus has shaped her into the person she is today, and that her leadership positions helped her break out of her shell.
We want students to dive right in at the beginning of the year, but at the same time, a lot of students don't have that opportunity. So now that we're back from break, a lot of students are still looking for ways to get involved, to join organizations, and we're here to remind them that we're still here to help them and help them find their next home.
Applications for General Ambassadors open next Monday, March 28th, in the My Ole Miss Forum for anyone who wants to get involved. Anna Caroline Barker, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Thanks, Anna Caroline. Coming up, one particular problem has been costing Netflix money for years. Find out what they plan to do about it. But first, here's a look at your current weather conditions.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Mom, I got it. What are you doing in there?
I got stuck.
Are you a dog?
I wouldn't do that. Have you
seen the pliers? Where'd you find those?
It's not your birthday.
Sorry.
Bye, Grandpa.
Bye, Grandpa.
Take care of yourself.
What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Creating a legacy takes time, takes dedication, spirit, and a greater vision. That vision starts here at the University of Mississippi. What will you be remembered by? Your character, your contributions, your friendship. Your legacy will define who we are now and who we are becoming for our state, our students, and our future. Ole Miss, build your legacy.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? I'm high. Oh.
Times during class, and I tell her to talk to him, and it's like, oh, ew.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
It was a historic day on Capitol Hill as the confirmation hearings for the first ever black female judge nominated to the Supreme Court began. CNN's Chris Wynn has the details on day one of the hearings.
Ketanji Brown Jackson in the hot seat for the first day of confirmation hearings before the Senate Judiciary Committee.
This hearing of the Senate Judiciary Committee will come to order.
If confirmed, she'll become the first black woman to serve on our nation's highest court.
You are living witness to the fact that in America, all is possible.
Monday, offering a chance for President Joe Biden's Supreme Court pick to introduce herself to the panel, and an opportunity for all 22 members of the committee to deliver opening statements.
Her nomination, pending a confirmation by the Senate, will bring us one step closer to having a Supreme Court that is more reflective of our nation.
I am hoping that we can have a hearing that's respectful, that's informative, that's challenging.
The real test will come Tuesday when questioning begins. Jackson is no stranger to the process, though. As a federal judge, this is her fourth time sitting before the committee. Democrats praising her extensive experience on the bench.
If you were confirmed, you would be the first ever federal public defender to sit on the court.
While Republicans look to grill Jackson about her judicial record.
I want to know about your judicial philosophy, because people on the left, the far extreme part of the left, believe that you were the best bet.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
Shortly before hearings began for Judge Jackson, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas was hospitalized with flu-like symptoms. The 73-year-old Thomas was admitted to Sibley Memorial Hospital in Washington, D.C. this weekend. A spokesperson for the court says he does not have COVID-19, but is being treated for a virus and could be released within the next day or two. After 83-year-old Justice Stephen Breyer retires at the end of the term, Thomas will be the oldest member of the court. Across the country, Walmart customers are being asked to toss out pancake and waffle mix. Great Value Buttermilk Pancake and Waffle Mix is under recall after customers found fragments of cable from the processing line in their boxes. The pancake and waffle mix had a Best By date of September 1st, 2023, and was delivered nationally to Walmart stores. Consumers are advised to return the product to place of purchase to prove place of purchase. No related injuries have been reported. The online dating company Match is launching a new dating app for single parents called Stir. The app focuses on linking unmatched parents. Spokespeople within the company say they want to create a place for men and women with kids to, quote, feel like they can be themselves. According to data from nearly 1,500 Stir members, 27% of single parents say scheduling conflicts make it hard to date in general. Among those polled, many say financial stability and emotional maturity are among the most sought-after qualities in a potential partner. In other electronic news, Netflix knows that its users share their password with friends and family, and now it plans to do something about it. CNN's Jeremy Roth has a look at the company's response.
Netflix is cracking down on password sharing. The streaming giant is forcing users who share a Netflix account but do not live in the same household to set up and pay for their own account or formally be added to the main account at an extra cost.
They're trying to hit profitability. They're trying to generate free cash flow.
Experts say the experiment is a bit of a risk as Netflix aims to show its investors that there's growth in both revenue and users.
There's a delicate balancing act that they have to figure out where they keep their existing users happy and engaged. Password sharing is definitely a part of that, but it's very clear that you're getting at least $1 more per user per quarter. And with 220 million users around the world, you know, that could end up being substantial revenue on a monthly basis.
So far, the test feature is only being rolled out in Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru, but news of the password crackdown landed like a bomb on Twitter, with scores of users voicing frustrations and posing questions, like how Netflix plans to deal with unique family scenarios, such as college kids on their parents' accounts. Netflix says it will see how the features work in the 3 markets before potentially rolling them out to the rest of the world, and experts say depending on user reaction, other popular streaming platforms could soon follow suit.
All of them have in mind that they can probably go as high, $20 or higher, right? That over time they can just continue to escalate it because if they do a better job serving users, then they can start charging more.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Netflix stock has seen a significant drop this year, and new subscribers are also down.
Coming up in sports, the weather is warming up, and so is the Rebel baseball team after taking the weekend series over Auburn. And 3 members of the Ole Miss rifle team have earned All-American honors after their performance over the season. Find out more up next in sports.
On October 15, 2017, 2 words changed the course of history. The words we wrote that day are a part of a longer and even more powerful history.
The wounds become scars.
Things are changing.
We really need everyone's voices.
Today, we all have a chance to write another chapter, powered by everyday activism as simple as joining a march or reading a book, written to a permanent archive on a public blockchain.
Because it takes a sea of us coming forward to demand change.
Because no matter who you are, you can act too. The end of sexual violence begins with this next act.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Starting things off on the diamond, the #1 ranked Ole Miss baseball team took the series against the Auburn Tigers by the score of 2-1 on the road at Plainsman Park, marking it their first win on the Plains since 2009. After dropping Game 2, the Rebels bounced back with a huge scoring surge to take Game 3 and the series. The Rebels separated themselves from the Tigers in the 6th inning. Outfielders Kemp Alderman and Hayden Leatherwood were key contributors for the Rebels as they led with the back-to-back hits to the right field. The Rebels will be back on the diamond tomorrow when they take on the Memphis Tigers. Keeping things on the diamond, the Ole Miss softball team didn't have the look they expected to have on the diamond this weekend after being swept by the Mississippi State Bulldogs in Starkville. The Rebels were able to make Friday and Saturday's contest as competitive as they could, falling 8-9 and 3-7, but they found that they weren't able to find the home place in yesterday's 6-0 loss. The Rebels will look to bounce back this Friday against the Missouri Tigers as they also prepare for an 8-game homestand. Firing things off to the gun range, 3 Rebel rifle players earned All-American honors after wrapping up their season at the 2022 NCAA Championship. Sophomore Leah Horvath was named the unanimous All-American by the College Rifle Coaches Association. Junior Claire O'Neill earned first-team All-American honors in air rifle, and junior Kirsten Darton capped off her season with the 4th All-American honor of her career. Deterian packed up second-team small board All-American honors. The team assistant coach J.P. Lucas was named Assistant Coach of the Year. Serving the action over to the tennis court, the Ole Miss men's tennis team suffered a heartbreaking 6-1 loss over the weekend to number 7 South Carolina at the Carolina Tennis Center. The Rackets were hot for the Gamecocks as they took the double series 2-0 against the Rebels. The dominance would transfer over to the single matches as well. South Carolina clinched the singles 4-0. The lone victory came on the day from Rebels Simon Junk with the come-from-behind victory to defeat South Carolina's James Story. The Rebels will host Auburn Tigers and Kentucky Wildcats on March 25th and 27th in Oxford this weekend. Staying on the racket court, over the weekend, the Ole Miss women's tennis team suffered a home loss to number 7 Auburn Tigers by the score of 4-3. The Tigers swept the double series at 2-0. After losing the doubles, the Rebels were able to split the singles matchup at 3-3, but lost the matchup overall at 4-3. Ole Miss sits at just 2-4 in the SEC and 8-6 overall. The Rebels now look to regroup this weekend as they hit the road to take on Florida and South Carolina. Now for some NFL free agency news. Former first-rounder Deshaun Watson was traded from the Houston Texans to the Cleveland Browns for a huge 5-year, fully guaranteed $230 million deal. Watson's signing bonus is $44 million and will be spread out over the 5 seasons. And former #1 overall pick Jameis Winston is staying with the New Orleans Saints after a season-ending knee injury kept him sidelined. The deal is for 2 years and worth $28 million, including a $21 million guaranteed salary. Veteran quarterback Matt Ryan was traded by the Falcons earlier today to the Indianapolis Colts for a 3rd-round draft pick. And Super Bowl 50 MVP and recent Super Bowl 56 champion Von Miller signed with the Buffalo Bills on a 6-year deal worth $120 million with $54 million guaranteed. That's all I've got for sports. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at rebel_watch for the latest sports updates.
Thanks, Caleb. Thousands of children each day are born with Down syndrome, and today their families and members of the medical community around the world are working to raise awareness. We'll hear from one such family coming up on NewsWatch.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Today is Down Syndrome Day, a time to raise awareness and celebrate those who have an extra chromosome. About 6,000 babies are born with Down syndrome daily. CNN's Mandy Gaither has the story of one of them.
Before Weston Hendershot was born, his parents were blindsided. First told their baby boy would have Down syndrome, then learned he also had a heart defect.
You have all of the worst thoughts going through your head. You know, will our little guy make it? Will we see him be born?
The parents say doctors weren't able to answer those questions either, but in October 2020, Weston was born at Cleveland Clinic Children's. Still, his heart was struggling.
A heart condition is, life or death. So the more you can get knowledge for yourself, the better.
Weston's doctors did an echocardiogram, which is a graphic outline of the heart's movement.
To demonstrate signs of pulmonary hypertension or elevated pressures on the right side of the heart.
Weston's doctor says that's common for babies born with Down syndrome. In fact, he says about 40 to 50% of babies with the condition will have heart problems. 6 months after he was born, Weston went through surgery at Cleveland Clinic to repair his heart.
He is thriving at 17 months. He has 100% heart repair.
Weston's parents didn't know heart problems were common in babies with Down syndrome. That's why his mom says getting an echocardiogram is key. It let them know of the problem. While doctors continue to follow Weston's progress, his future is bright.
Bye-bye.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If you have any people with Down syndrome in your life, today's the day to make sure you let them know they're appreciated. That's all for tonight. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Hannah Baker. Be sure to follow us across social media platforms for updates. Thank you and good night.